What is up, YouTube? Remington James here. Welcome back to my office. For those of you wondering, this is actually like my office where I film this section at. So, yeah, you see you got Drake over there? I've been thinking the last couple days, right? And I compiled a list. I made 5 New Year's resolutions. And the new year always brings in people wanting to make a change, right? The whole new year, new me thing. And people get down, they write these lists. Typical New Year's resolutions, you know, quit smoking, start exercising, eat better. Stuff like that. Mine aren't really like that. Mine are a little different, a little deeper. I think last year I achieved a lot of the goals I set for myself, and this next year will be no different. So I'm gonna go through my 5 New Year's resolutions that I made that I personally think you might wanna make too. So if you guys are ready, then so am I. Let's do it. Alright guys, my first New Year's resolution is remove even more negative people from my life. So emphasis on the even more. 2016 for me has been a year where I removed a ton of negativity from my life. And I preach this in almost every video I have. Anytime I'm talking success and I'm talking setting goals, achieving goals, I always talk about removing negative people. Examples of negative people, right? We all have that one friend, especially when you first start a goal or you have a venture, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to lose weight, whatever you're trying to do, everybody has that one friend that when you bring up what you want to do, they go, no, that's not possible. Yeah, right, like that's gonna work. Do you know how much that's gonna cost? What if you fail? Yeah, all that stuff, right? Instead of giving you positive encouragement and saying, you know what? Good idea, I'll be here for you. Or, yeah, that sounds great, I can't wait to see you do it. They just want to put a negative spin on things. And those are probably the best examples of negativity. That's negativity at like the least amount of negativity. Then you have some people that straight up just, you shouldn't do that at all, you are going to fail. There's no way you could ever do that. Yeah, I heard them all when I started YouTube, guys. And a lot of these negative people, there's a place for them, but you have to understand that when you switch your life around and you start that journey of self-betterment, of achieving your goals and really setting out and trying to accomplish something and make a difference, those negative people are like anchors, right? They're just gonna hold you back, and that negative energy interfering with your positive energy is something you don't need, and it's something that I don't need. So I removed a ton of negative people. You can look at my block list on Facebook even. You know, I have a personal Facebook account, and if I see someone on there, and it's not even really negativity as much towards like the goals I'm trying to accomplish for myself. That's huge, right? Don't mess up my positivity. This is a one-way street, and it's all positive. If you throw negative vibes my way, you are out of here. I will drop you off faster than I picked you up, I promise. But there's also negative people in a sense that they just are negative in general. Like people on Facebook, I might see someone post, just to put it bluntly, I'm not even gonna come, just a very racist post, right? I live in a very small, predominantly white community, right? And there's so much ignorance around where I'm at. So maybe a racist post, or maybe a super political post, just closed-minded, one-sided. If you comment on it, there's just a ton of like, just a bunch of negativity and fire starts, and just, or someone that's like constantly harassing people on like, they'll post maybe like, oh, I voted for so-and-so, then in the comments like, you are terrible, why would you do this, killing babies, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, man, I don't need someone on my friends list either that's posting like that or is inviting conflict like that. And that's the thing, right? Anytime you have a conflict or a grudge or someone you have an argument with, I feel like there's a little part of your brain that kind of stores that up there. And you only have so much room up here, right? And taking those little negative conflicts, that's like taking up shelf space when you need all the room you can get. And that's why I just, negativity out of here, done with it. And this year is gonna be no different. Last year I cleaned everything out, you know, pretty much emptied the negative house. That's one way you wanna put it. And this year I'm gonna clean the carpets. We're gonna scrub the walls. We're gonna get everything positive, everything. We're gonna clean everything up. So anyways, New Year's resolution 1. Sorry if I'm rambling, guys. I just get passionate about this stuff and I like talking. New Year's resolution number 2. I'm gonna focus on having more me time, right? What I mean by that is, now, this might not apply to some people, right? I understand that not everyone is as busy as I am. I literally feel like from the moment I wake up till the moment I lay my head down at night, there is something going on. Whether I'm in contact with my multitude of clients, which I don't mind at all. I appreciate each and every one of you that support me. In turn, I try to help you. I'm always in contact with clients. Phone's always going off, or I'm editing a video, I'm shooting a video, vlogging, you know, whatever. And it's really been hard lately to find that time where I just kind of back up, relax, take a deep breath, take my phone, put it away, and just like enjoy some time to myself. You know, I've been taking like video games, for instance. I love playing video games, guys, right? The only time I've been able to find to play video games lately has been when I'm doing my cardio. And you know, that in and of itself is work. That's, you know, that's me working on my body. My body has to stay in somewhat decent shape for you guys to keep listening to what I have to say. So I'm hitting that cardio. And I couldn't tell you the last time I really just went and like had just like a day to myself, right? Where I was just like, you know what? I want to go see this movie, or I want to go to this restaurant, and just spending time with myself, me and my thoughts, and really, you know, decentering. I feel like the little bit of free time I do have lately, I'm running around hanging out with my friends, you know, shooting videos, stuff like that. And even that stuff's fun. And don't get me wrong, I love all of my friends, and they are some of the biggest positive influences in my life. It's just that sometimes I think it's essential to stop, take a breath, ask yourself, what would ultimately make you the happiest you could be right now? What could you be doing? And then do that, you know? That's I need to focus more on that. And I think some of us, if you're in the same boat as me and you find yourself, you got a family, you got kids, and you're trying to do the whole gym life, the meal prep life, supporting your family, working a 40-hour-a-week plus job, you know, and you find yourself running constant. I think we could all use a little bit of just, you know, decompression time. And that's, I'm gonna try to do that this year. You know, I'm still gonna try to keep the workload up and keep my subscribers happy, but I do think I am gonna have to take a couple me days, you know, here soon, right? It's kind of like clear the books off, let everybody know, like, hey, Remington will be off the grid for approximately 24 hours. So yeah, I think we could all benefit from that. So that's my second New Year's resolution. And my third New Year's resolution is going to be to not get in negative confrontations on social media. Now, I would say for the most part, I'm pretty good at this, right? But we all have our bad days. You have those days where you didn't sleep as well, maybe something at work didn't go quite right, you know, you got a little bit of extra stress going on, and you know, we're all human. We hop on social media and then you see that one person. This also goes with the whole removing negative people thing, right? But you see a post and it's just very like, I don't know, hateful, bigoted, very opinionated, whatever. Instead of just scrolling on by it, you look at it, click comment, and start typing something out, right? As if you're gonna be able to sway their opinion and they're gonna have an epiphany and they're gonna go, oh man, you were right the whole time, I was wrong. You know, as if that's gonna happen. That is never how this plays out, ever. I can only think of a couple little altercations like this I've gotten into this past year, and it's easy to do. And I see a lot of people engaged in this, right? But let me tell you something. When you engage that type of comment or that type of post with a reply, what you're doing is validating the fact that they even posted. A lot of these people that are posting stuff like this, they're highly opinionated. They want a response out of people. They do this because they want to spark that tension. They want that excitement. Some people lead very boring lives, and for some reason, they think that starting this drama on social media is where it's at, and that's how they get their excitement. And there's a guy here locally, I'm not gonna name any names, but that's what he did forever. It was just anytime anybody would post something, right in there, comment, something, you know, and he was just joking around, I believe, but it came across every time you'd see it as like, wow, man, like, come on, I'm scared to post something for fear that you're gonna come in here and write something negative on it. So what did I do? Blocked him. You know what? I'm tired of seeing that. He's in everybody else's posts, arguing, commenting, you know, and then it came back. He got a new Facebook. I'm like, oh, well, maybe he's changed. Accepted the friend request, and lo and behold, maybe 2 weeks later, I'm seeing it again. You know, didn't waste any time. Block. That ultimately, out of sight, out of mind, I don't see that anymore. And moral of the story, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that all you're doing when you interact with that level of negativity is creating more negativity. I don't think in the history of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that those comments ever lead to a resolution. Ever. So really all you're doing is creating more negativity. If you're the type of person that's getting on social media and replying to these types of comments and it's just stirring the pot, just don't. Because I'm telling you, give it a week of not doing it and you will feel 100 times better. So it's gonna be hard for some people, I know that, but and it's something that I've struggled with a little bit too. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Innocent. I have struggled with this, especially when you see something that you know is blatantly wrong and you want to get in there and just like correct them. But it never ever works out. I've never once went into one of those and came out the other side and said, man, I'm glad I did that. Never, ever. So that is my third New Year's resolution for this year, and I think a lot of you guys could probably benefit from that as well. My fourth New Year's resolution, and one of the most important ones I think I'm gonna make this next year, is to get better at just simply saying no. N-O, no. And what I mean by this is, as people, right, we are all pulled in so many different directions. These people want to do this person wants to do this person needs help with this person wants to borrow money, all sorts of things. I would like to say that I'm a pretty nice guy, and I try to help people whenever I can, and I'm the type that, if I get a question from somebody I know, I want to answer it, and if someone needs help, I love helping people. When there's plans, sometimes I feel like I'm going to miss something if I don't show up to dinner with buddies or whatever, and I'm constantly just yes. Instead of simply, sometimes I think the best course of action would be to say, you know what? No, I don't think so. And this also relates back to my more me time thing, right? It's easy to get wrapped up in the yes game where you're constantly saying yes to everybody and trying to make everybody happy. But in turn, the ultimate form of happiness comes when you kind of quit caring what everybody else thinks, and quit caring about making this group of people happy just to make this group of people happy, and in turn you might make this person mad, so you got to do a little something extra to make them happy. You kind of just level it all out and you tell yourself, you know what, my happiness is what matters more than any of this other happiness. And the happier I am, these people should be happier by default because we're all friends, right? That's one thing that I think I have the most trouble with, is especially when I've been working a lot and I'm run down, and I know that really what I need the most is rest. I am very bad at going against my instincts telling me I need to sleep, or I need to just relax, and I just go. And I go, and I'm constantly trying to please people. And this goes back a lot to when I first started the YouTube stuff. I would reply to every single comment on every video, just because I felt like it was the right thing to do, and I eventually had to step back and go, okay, you know what? I'll hang out for the first 20 minutes or so, answer some comments, and maybe some sporadically throughout as I see them come in, because I feel like that you should do that. As a YouTube content creator, you should interact with the people that technically pay you and support you, right? So it's one of those things I had to eventually evaluate. Say, you know what? Like, man, I can't sit and reply. Every morning I'd wake up and reply to all of them. I'm like, you simply can't do that anymore. You just can't. And I had to tell myself no. And, there's so many more examples of why I can benefit from that, why you can probably benefit from that. And I think we could all use a little more no in our lives, right? It's easy to say yes, but way harder to say no. For sure. So that's my fourth one. And my fifth and final New Year's resolution is going to be, don't hate on me for this one, but to find new and creative ways to make money. Now, before you get all mad and you say, oh, you just want to be rich, all you care is about money. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that money can bring you a certain level of happiness that can't really be achieved otherwise. Hear me out. So, for instance, with my YouTube channel, right, I'm not saying that I have a ton of money right now by any means. All I'm saying is that I'm financially comfortable in a spot where I do not have to worry about any of my bills. I know that no matter what, they're all getting paid. I'm not stressing about money, right? And eliminating that burden, that financial burden, is one of the most freeing things you can possibly do. Being able to get rid of that negative energy and focus what's left over on, let's say, a passion project. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. Let's say you have other goals and stuff you want to do. Focusing that energy, not having that negative barrier of money, right, can do wonders on just the way you present yourself in public, your happiness. Everything gets better when you aren't worried about money. And there's been times in my life where I was very worried about money, where you're scraping money together for gas, where you're scraping money together to try to get a meal. I mean, there's been moments of it, and I have friends that personally struggle with this, and I know people that have trouble. And one of the easiest ways to eliminate this burden is to find ways to make extra money. Your job, what you do for a living right now, your 40-hour-a-week job, maybe you work part-time, maybe you're a student, whatever, you probably have a steadily fixed income, right? You probably make the same amount of money roughly week to week. There is always ways to make more money, and you can be creative and have fun while you do it. For instance, I make money off of YouTube, right? So I get some money, I'm not raking it in by any means, but I get a little bit of money from YouTube. I have my client business and I have my clothing business, right? Those are three ways that I make money. Now, when I first started, before any of this, I worked for Sprint, right? The cell phone company. When I worked there, I did pretty well, right? I won multiple, I'm not bragging, I won multiple Salesman of the Year awards. I was very good at my job, and I will pride myself on that. And that's one thing. Never cocky, always confident. If you know you got it, then talk about it, because it's confidence is one of the most attractive things in the world. Anyways, before I get off topic, I was guaranteed a decent amount of money. It was a commission job, so I would get a decent chunk of money at the end of every month from the previous month's commission. Well, I was always guaranteed so much. I was always doing so well at the job that I never worried about not getting that commission. We had a payment structure change in my company, and you had to hit minimums again. And they told me, hey, we're gonna give you a raise on the hour, we're gonna pay you more, but you have these minimums you gotta hit, right? And I was like, well, the last 12 months, I've hit those every single time. I don't see why there would ever be a time when I wouldn't hit them. So, okay, fine by me. And I'm telling you, I was making probably like a little bit above minimum wage on the hour, but commission was the bulk of my money. And anybody that's in sales or anything like that works commission based understands what I'm talking about. But for those of you that don't understand, basically you have a base pay, which is like a minimum wage or a little bit above that. And then every phone I sold, I got a little extra money on the top. But in order to cash that check, I had to sell, I think it was like 20 phones with certain stipulations. And we had a really bad month. It was, I forget what happened, but there was something happened and Sprint just had a terrible month. I didn't hit those minimums, right? So that next month rolls around and I didn't get a commission check. And I completely forgot that I had minimums to hit. So that commission check comes and then it just shocks me. And I said, holy crap, this money is not guaranteed. And that was the start of what really started all of this in terms of me trying to find ways to, create my own business and find a different way to make money, because I realized that money wasn't guaranteed and I wasn't in complete control of what I made. So I started, this is gonna sound weird, but I got on Craigslist and I was finding old video game lots, right? People would have old Super Nintendos, old Nintendo DSs, Nintendo 64s, PlayStations, whatever they had, they'd be selling it all, right? Like everything must go. I would lowball them and I'd get these console deals for maybe like 70, 80, 90 bucks. And I'd get all these games and these consoles. I started an eBay account, got a printer, got all the shipping stuff I needed, and I started putting everything individually listed on eBay and selling it. That way I could make money, right? So I could in turn turn like an $80 investment into, maybe get 200 bucks back out of it. It wasn't crazy good money, but I was making money in addition to my job. And I remember I hustled once really hard all week, buying, selling, and I think I made $500 extra in a week profit. And I was like, holy crap, I can make money without having anybody tell me how to do it or what I gotta do to make it. And I realized that I could make more money the harder I worked. And that's really kind of what sparked my entrepreneurial instincts, was realizing like, wow, you don't have to punch the clock for somebody. So that's just an example of how I started making money. Obviously you guys see what I do now, but that was just an example of kind of an idea that I had that I was able to capitalize on. So whether that's painting houses, right? Whether that's, I don't know, whatever your hobby is, whether that's babysitting, whether that's washing a car, whether that's doing somebody's taxes for them, whatever you can do, you have talents that people will pay for. Everybody does. In one shape or form, you have a talent that somebody will pay you for. So all it is thinking a little bit outside the box and finding a way to make a couple dollars off of that, because having the financial freedom of not stressing about bills and stressing about other stuff and having that extra money gives you much more time to focus on what's really important, which is your health, your happiness, and everything else in between. So I think you guys kind of get what I'm saying, but moving into 2017, I would like to find more ways to make money, because ultimately the less you have to stress about bills, the less you have to stress about the day-to-day stuff, the more money you really have up to a point, I believe it does make you a little happier. So, and plus two, not even just the financial stuff, finding a way to make money like that and being able to start your own business and do stuff that people never thought you were able to do. The self-confidence and the happiness that comes from that is, you can't really put a price on that either. So guys, that is my 5 New Year's resolutions that I'm gonna do that I think you could probably benefit from as well. So maybe not all of these, or might only be 1, might only be 2, might be none of them, but this is what the list that I'm gonna work on this coming year. I'm gonna try to be even better and make 2017 a year to remember. And I hope you guys are in the same boat as me. I really think we can all get better together at the same time. So if there's anything you feel like I left out in this list, or something you think that I could focus on, or something that maybe you're gonna focus on that you think I could in turn benefit from, comment below with what your New Year's resolution is, and I will go through and check them out. If there's any good ones, I might add them to my list. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. I try to share some of my life experiences sometimes. It's kind of some of the stuff I've been through, because sometimes it may be hard to see when someone's talking about it, but if you can paint and tell a story and paint a clear visual picture and kind of spell out what you're trying to say, I think it helps so much more. So I know I ramble a lot in these, I kind of start talking and you're probably like, when is this guy gonna shut up? But I get passionate about this stuff, guys, and I just start flowing, and I hate to think that I would leave even an ounce of some life experience or advice off the table and you guys wouldn't benefit from it. Just thought of that just breaks my heart. So thanks for spending your time with me once again. Everybody have a happy new year. If this is the last video you see before the New Year's, don't drink too much, don't do anything too crazy, but enjoy yourself. Have a good time, and we will all start 2017 off on the right foot. I have some crazy good announcements I'm gonna make, some big changes to the channel that I'm gonna do, and lots of good stuff. 2017 is gonna be our year. It's gonna be the year that we rose to the top. I think we're gonna make some big things happen, guys. So, as always, this has been a Remington James production. Don't forget to smile, remain positive, and pay someone a compliment, because you never know whose day you could be making better. And with that, I'm out of here, guys. I will see you all in 2017. Some of you, I'll see some of you tomorrow too, but 2017 it is. See you guys.